Resuming debate, the Honourable Member for Vancouver East.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm proud to be able to stand in this House to offer my support to Bill C-376, an act to designate the month of April as Sikh Heritage Month. It is important to note both that this bill is likely the first bill recognizing Sikh heritage at a federal level in the world, but the second such bill in Canada. During his time as NDP MPP in Ontario for Brampton Gore Moulton, now NDP leader Jagmeet Singh tabled Bill 52, an act to proclaim the month of April as Sikh Heritage Month, and that bill received royal assent on December 12, 2013. As a proud member of Canada's first federal party to have a leader of Sikh heritage, and a leader who has previously tabled and received unanimous consent in the House a similar piece of legislation at a different level of government, there is no doubt that the NDP strongly supports this bill. Each province and territory throughout Canada has been touched by the influence and contributions of Sikh Canadians. I believe it is very important for us to recognize the social, economic, and cultural contributions of the Sikh community to the multicultural mosaic of Canada by declaring April as Sikh Heritage Month. April is an important month for individuals of Sikh faith, not just in Canada, but throughout the world. Each year, April makes the celebration of Vaisakhi, also known as Khalsa Day. Vaisakhi makes the Sikh New Year and commemorates the formation of Khalsa Path of Warriors under Guru Gobind Singh in 1699. It is also a spring harvest festival. Sikh places of worship, the gurdwaras throughout Canada, will hold kirtans, which are devotional singing of scriptures and legends. The Harvest Festival is filled with music, dancing, and fairs known as malas. In Canada, some of the biggest Vaisakhi celebrations occur in BC. The biggest of them occurs in Surrey. This year marked Surrey's 20th annual Vaisakhi parade, and the RCMP estimated its attendance was over 500,000 people. According to Statistics Canada, there are nearly 470,000 Canadian Sikhs. That makes Canada likely home to the largest Sikh diaspora community in the world. Passing the bill before us today will provide Canadians from all walks of life the opportunity to learn more about the contributions, celebrations, and culture of the Sikh neighbours and community members, and it is something I encourage all Canadians to take advantage of. My riding of Vancouver East is home to the April Sikh Society. I've had the pleasure of working with them on obtaining visas and permits for visiting religious workers, and this has provided me the wonderful opportunity of learning more about the Sikh community in my riding, and also for them to share their knowledge with the rest of the community. The Society started in 1952 and began construction on the current Gurdwara in 1981. In addition to their religious services, they regularly host community meals, offer Punjabi language classes, run youth camps, and offer free tax filling services for seniors and low-income families. These valuable community roles stem directly from the Sikh faith's emphasis on selfless service, justice, and equality. Passing this bill will also allow for Canadians to learn from past injustices Canada has perpetrated against the Sikh community. As members are aware, the Kumulgata Maru marks a dark history in Canadian history. Nearly 400 passengers, mostly Sikhs, were refused entry into Canada at the Burrard Inlet because of a discriminatory law. The passengers were sent back to India, where 19 of the passengers were killed. During the 2015 election campaign, even though the now Prime Minister made the promise to officially apologize for the Kumulgata Maru incident in the House of Commons within its first 90 days of his mandate, that, of course, as we know, did not happen on that timeline. On February 3rd, 2016, I put on notice Motion M35, which called on the Liberal government to officially apologize for the 1914 Kumulgada-Maru incident as a reminder of the Prime Minister's election promise. By so doing, I was also carrying on the hard work of former NDP MPs Jaspreet Sandhu, the current BC Minister for Citizen Services, the Honourable Ginny Sims, and the tireless efforts of the Professor Mohan Singh Memorial Foundation, who initiated the call for justice in 2012. In working with the community together, we were able to pressure the Prime Minister to do the right thing. And on May 18, 2016, the Prime Minister finally formally apologized in the House of Commons for the actions taken by the Canadian government and the irreparable harm the decision caused in this dark history of Canada's past. I think it would be worthwhile to take a moment to reflect on what was that discriminatory law that cost the lives of 19 people. The Government of Canada had put in place a law that prohibited passengers from disembarking in Canada if the vessel they were on had stopped at any point during its journey here. Then in 1939, under the unofficial policy of, quote, none is too many, Canada would refuse refuge for another ship searching for safe haven, the MS St. Louis. On it were 900 Jewish people fleeing Nazi Germany. The ship was forced to leave, and it was believed a quarter of those passengers would be killed in Nazi death camps during World War II. The Prime Minister's description of the laws that prevented Kumulgada-Maru passengers from embarking immediately and those on the MS St. Louis reminded me of the current influx of the asylum seekers to Canada. The Safe Third Country Agreement aims to prevent people seeking asylum from entering Canada if they stopped here in the United States during their journey here. It appears that we have still not learned from the mistakes of the past. We're continuing to turn people away, not on the basis of their claim, but on the basis of the path they took to arrive here, as they search for safety and a better life. I hope that the government reflects on the Prime Minister's apology to the Sikh community for their mistreatment under the laws of Canada at that time, and what it means to truly make make sure we do not repeat the mistakes of the past. I hope that they keep this in mind when I and my New Democratic colleagues continue our call for the suspension of the Safe Third Country Agreement upon our recognition that the United States is not a safe country for asylum seekers at this time. I am proud to support this bill. It gives Canadians a chance to learn more about the Sikh community and Canada's past, including the not-so-bright moments. This is what gives us the motivation and ability to do better, to ensure that we do not repeat the mistakes of the past. As noted, I encourage Canadians who have questions about the Sikh faith or just about day-to-day life as a Canadian Sikh to simply ask them. The World Sikh Organization is constantly engaged on Twitter through hashtag #AskASikh. They are happy to answer anyone's questions and help Canadians better understand their Sikh neighbors. Mr. Speaker, we can all learn from each other. We need to celebrate each other about who we are, no matter where we come from. That is part of our multicultural mosaic that speaks to who we are as Canadians. So as New Democrats, on behalf of all of my colleagues, we wholeheartedly support this bill. And as I've mentioned, our leader, Jagmeet Singh, had paved the way in the Ontario legislature with his bill. And now for the House of Commons to do the same is something that we very much welcome. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the member for tabling this bill and supporting the initiative that my former colleagues from the NDP had tabled previous to this time. Thank you so much.